Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8 and Third Reich events installed. We're going to continue with the invasion of Poland. Those Poles don't stand a chance. But Bulgaria wants to be our buddies. Okay. Okay. And we're going to see about doing some ground attacks there. Right, total. Don't even know that I needed to do the ground attacks. Oh boy. We're going to send Rommel up around north around this Lotz. Okay, radar for cruisers has advanced. That's nice. We're going to switch over to active sonar now. No, just to there. Okay, so we've created this little pocket here. You can mobilize if you want, Italy. I'm not going to be calling you to the battle anytime soon. Let's see. You want to buy some supplies? No. Okay, they don't have the money. They want to buy some supplies. No. Obviously, we've also lost some of our other customers as well. Greece isn't as happy with us as they used to be. We're going to switch the ground attacks over to there since the militia division isn't doing so great. Okay, Guderian, you can do there. I'm letting them retreat out of here because I don't want to fight there if I can help it. But I don't know that they're all going to retreat out. Just don't want to eat this up too much at all. I don't have any money to buy it there. We'll go with them. Should be eating, we're still grayed out. USA still. And can we that 26th of April. So just a few days. Saudi Arabia, they have money, do they? Let's see if they'll buy. Oh, well, briefly. Okay. We do want good relations with them, so that's always a positive. Netherlands. Got some money in the need, so let's see if they'll buy. We got the money, let's see if they'll buy. No. Iraq. Oh, they briefly look like, yep. Finland doesn't have the money. Bulgaria has some money. Let's see if they will buy a supply or two. Okay, that's good. Oh, let's send von Klug back. This is just a complete and total massacre right now. See how this attack goes. Well, I'm not going to wait for their error on that. I think right now that's stopping my troops is my reluctance to attack a few provinces. I know I'm not talking a whole lot about the Polish invasion. It went almost as easy as this, but maybe not quite this easy. One thing that I think they should have done is, we will get an event to create the Heimwehr Danzig. We should have just created that as an event. At the start, they haven't just placed a unit there, but that's alright. Well, you can see we've linked up to East Prussia now. Not quite the Danzig corridor, but you know. Let's get them some experience all tap there. I've often wanted to play against a, well, quite honestly, I've often wanted to play against a human player, just arranging time, schedules, and all of that. But I'd love to fight against a smart Poland here. Not one that anyone thought the Poles were going to win, but just simply be relatively smart about what they do. I don't think they're going to be battle enough to earn any trades. Maybe more skill points, but I figured, hey, whatever. Might as well have them there, see if they do any good. So I am utilizing the local essay and minor regional actions. The only real fight's going to be over Warsaw. I'm wondering how the air battle's going over here. Relatively well, looks like. Could have been bombing us at all. A little bit here. We've been battling them back. Yeah, you just leave loads and we'll counterattack you. Aviation air search radar has improved. Good. Change that over to navigation. I don't know if there's something else going on, but it is, well, maybe all these guys showing up here meaning they were guarding the Soviet border. It just seems like Poland is weaker than normal is all. I don't know if I'm just hitting it with a bigger hammer or whether it is actually weaker or not. Okay. Kickboard angle. We took out two of those submarine or seaplane tenders. Isn't that what those are? But we are beat up. So we're stopping convoy waiting. Don't want to lose you guys. Okay. We want to stop. Now we're going to go all the way up to here. Just move border. Hydrophone advance. Okay. Yeah. Sonar and detection equipment for submarine research. That pocket disappeared awfully quick. Uh-oh. He spotted us. Okay. Yes, we want to invite Hungary into the Axis. We would like to have that. Let's see if we can try this again. Move order. Stance passive. Go up there. Okay, well, now that they've taken that province. Okay, big victory parade because we just won the Battle of Warsaw. Let's check out diplomacy here. I want to see if we can sell some supplies to the US. I know we cut back our sales, but we're now in a deficit here again. just overran most of the retreating units out of Warsaw. Okay, we just lost our Baltic state friends. Okay, how much? Just a teeny bit more. Not that I really expected a bunch more, but still. There we go. I probably should be doing the conventional army more, but still it's... At least I find it useful to improve the Navy's small ships some more. No, we don't move. I was thinking they may counterattack, but no. Okay, a bunch of events just hit. Okay, the United Kingdom has launched the Duke of York. An order has been placed for aircraft. Who's it from? Romania. Okay, we will accept that order. The Migla, the 1,000-mile race, was brought back this year. After an accident, they had a lost of life, had a hiatus. The SS entered one car as well as a few others. Not a few other German entries into it. So that's happening down in Italy. It did happen after the war had started. Swedish iron, yes. Okay, we now have this, can have the strategic effect. We want that. Actually, I think it would be more steel than iron, but whatever. Yes, yes. Big news in politics is now hitting us. We just lost a lot of money because of that's what I've been waiting for. We'll go with recruitment, agricultural industry. Yes, we want that. Okay, the Baltic Volksdeutsch. One of the main conditions of the, as it says here, Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was that prior to the transfer, prior to the transfer of all ethnic Germans living in Estonia and Latvia to areas, over 60,000 Baltic Volksdeutsch were relocated to Germany. A lot of them in this region, as you can see here. As I've said in earlier episodes, that it didn't include the Germans in and Lithuania, and I was still a bit perplexed by that. And I gather it something to do that Lithuania was originally to be in the German sphere, and I don't know exactly why it was transferred to the Soviet sphere, and I have not yet heard of any significant amount of Germans leaving at this time, German-speaking peoples, if you will, in Lithuania. I'm sure there must have been some. I don't know if there were 60,000 or whether there were, 600. I mean, there just got to be some, because obviously, like, Memel was a German-speaking city, considerably. I don't know everybody, but... And there had been a long, long history of colonization of Germans in these regions. So whether just because the pact said they could here, so Germany was able to do it and didn't here, and whether... I'm still not sure whether Stalin just took this and Hitler didn't have any real say in it, or whether it was some renegotiation, because obviously we're doing this a little bit later. This should have happened in 39. But so we get a bunch of manpower boosts. Wind tunnel. I have yet to... I forget, sorry, who pointed me... but they'll have it bookmarked. Some of the British wind tunnels and other information. I have yet to make the new events for some of the other nations. Wind tunnel, sorry about forgetting who it was. I can't keep everything straight, I'm sorry. Right offhand, because I wasn't prepared for this. But as you can see, this is one of the bigger wind tunnels of the period. Here's these two gentlemen standing down here, set up, and that they lower the aircraft down into it. And I thought it was also interesting that it's designed to have wings potentially wider than the wind tunnel. So, bigger aircraft. So, we can decide to build it or not. We're going to build it. Der Deutsch Erzhauer, German Education Office publication for, developing a common core of education for the German Reich and to indoctrinate the people proper National Socialist views. Verdunken, it was darkened, and this is one of the posters they put up, and obviously see somebody left the light on, so they're being bombed because of that. So I've often seen a lot of war movies, or like one of the Sherlock Holmes starring Basil Rathbone, set during World War II and moving around London during the blackouts with the fog and all that stuff, but they were also doing that in Germany as well. Okay, yes, we want to create the historical Panzer HQs, convoy raiders, yes, coal rationing, not right now, thanks. Now we're going to have a lot of extra ICs, 5,000 supplies, June 40, May, yeah, okay. Lot, but beef. Okay, let's see, another new event. Gotta introduce the Goer Handbush to our submarine commanders. Naval expert Eric Goner produced in the 1930s a compilation of maritime forces of almost the world. Okay, so this is sort of like a Jane's shipping type book, but to identify naval vessels by silhouette. Okay, that sounds good. We like that. reorganize our armament administration. Okay, I believe this is one of Revolverheld's events, I believe. Fritz Todt, an engineer and master road builder, is appointed Minister of Weapons and Munitions, ushering in a new era of efficient use of German industry and forced labor. And as Minister for Munitions and Weapons, Todt oversaw a more efficient use of raw materials in Hitler's war machine. We can establish the ministry or not too. Obviously, this is coming off of, which I'm finding very nice, coming off of, as an event, the ending of the 4-year plan and Goering's mastery of this area. But as I said before, he did remain officially in charge of Reichswerk Hermann Goering, but to one degree or another, and different fiefdoms, as we've seen, weren't always as compliant as they might theoretically be with others. So how compliant was Reichswerk Hermann Goering's with Todt? Probably pretty solidly, but I don't know specifically. But it's people stepping on each other's toes or not, and that's how it worked with different power bases. So okay. Oh, Mark Kretsch, Kettenfabrik. Oh, Alket. As I know it, it's just Alket. The shortened version of it. Yes, they were a major Berlin armaments manufacturer, one of the better tank manufacturers in Berlin. I like a lot of their tanks that they developed. Alket is a good one. So let's see. We'll get anti-aircraft guns in Berlin, tank factory, level 2. Yes, that's extremely good. Build air bases in Poland. I'm gonna see if I can wait on that until the end of the campaign. Yes, we'll go for that. Now, so now we have lots of extra ICs. We're building a bunch of garrison divisions to put in ports as we take them. We're going to build some SD divisions for occupational duties. So far, I've yet to see if moving reasonably quickly in most terrains, just 2 SS or 2 SD brigades together, not defeating any partisan units. So they seem to be fairly good at that. Now, Norway, as I say, regular. In Norway, I've had a few battles that the Norwegian partisans, partially I think because they take a while for the Germans to react and get there. So a couple of very light divisions would be nice for that. Coming up in Norway, light infantry units. See if we can sell some. Oh no, it's fine. We want to build up our money as quickly as possible right now. Okay, let's use some of our air power. Okay, we'll just fire that. Hopefully that'll be alright. Too far away. Too far away from them. Well, okay, so they're all in short range aircraft. These reach. Nope. Base up to there. Recruit from Romania, sorry. Okay, a bunch of more stuff just appeared, as you well can see. Yes, so now we have a lot more metal coming in, plus 30%. Hurting us in the pocketbooks a little bit, but it will... oh, well, so that massive everyday coming in, because we've taken, I believe it's because we've taken Poland there, but I'm not sure. Okay, so we now have our huge news and politics actually in effect. So that's going to give us a lot more territorial pride, national unity, a little bit more, obviously just a 0.1%. And ruling party support has increased. Hungary is mobilizing. We don't really need to. I'm not going to use you for some time. We get our... oh, good. We needed the money and the supplies. Okay. This is... I haven't... this is... Black Ice's event for the 11th Party Congress, which didn't happen. And... it should be coded so that if we're at peace in 39 in September, it should fire, and if we go to war, this should fire. This is Totenkopf. Okay, Panzerkampfwagen Bunch. This is a very interesting book I found. I don't own a copy of it or anything, but you can see from some of the photos, this is not very well, but gives tactical maneuvers for tanks and how well to do that. And you can, I don't know how well you can see, but the, you know, with photos and drawings so that they would know best how to engage the enemy. So that's a very interesting book. The RAD, the Reich Arbeitsdienst. this was a a major sort of conscription, if you will. I think it was more or less mandatory. I don't know if there were exceptions, at least for men. After you're basically done with the Hitler Youth, you go into this. If my understanding, and it changed at different times, but I think it's somewhere between 9 and 18 months, and it may vary at different times. And basically it's a labor service. A lot of it in peacetime. They were doing land reclamation to increase crop yields, doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Once the war started, they really moved more, or well, they continued to do a lot of the more land reclamations, because they needed, they had food shortages, so they needed to do that. They helped deal with bomb damage and those kinds of works as well. But they also repaired roads, bridges, things in the combat zone to help keep the armies moving forward and the supplies moving behind them. And those units particularly, they were armed. Obviously, as you see here with the shovels and doing the salute as if the shovel was a weapon. And it was sort of their symbol, and they did carry them. But they were, when you ever see pictures of them in occupied territories, or just, if you will, moving behind the troops, they were armed with basic rifles. They weren't a proper combat unit. And I think we will be seeing some rad units added. I know we will. Later in the game, as well as militia units, and that's appropriate in that you're not really putting them to fight Soviet divisions. You're putting them in behind the lines to reduce revolt risk and handle partisan outbreaks, while otherwise supposedly doing their construction work. So, but this will free up, by using this as a paramilitary force in combat zones, will free up German soldiers to be more directly involved in combat. So we're going to increase the size and operations of the RAD. The SSKB Abteilung, not going to try to pronounce the German word for it. Basically, and this is just one sort of group photo here and another, the SS, or the Waffen-SS particularly, had a lot of reporters, if you will, or correspondents maybe would be a better term. But they were official members of the Waffen-SS that produced lots of propaganda, particularly about the SS, or the Waffen-SS, in combat. That is, I think, a substantial reason why they have such a reputation they do today. There were elite units as part of the Waffen-SS. But a lot of the units weren't elite, and like Polizei Division at this time wasn't even technically part of the Waffen-SS, but when it does become part of the Waffen-SS, I don't think it was ever anything better than an average German division. Other divisions were equipped primarily with cast-off, somewhat outdated captured equipment. Other divisions still were somewhat volunteers, somewhat draftees from various ethnic groups, and they were using a hodgepodge of equipment, and they were maybe very dedicated people fighting for their national liberation as they saw it and whatever else. But that doesn't make them more elite than your average German division. But the myth really was started and set up that the Waffen-SS in total was an elite organization. Very much starts with these guys. Yeah, there was Leibstandarte, Das Reich, and some very good divisions. Part of the reason they were elite is those divisions got first pick of the good new equipment coming out, as well as combat losses replacement, both in men and equipment. Hitler liked new units. Hitler wanted to see more units on the map. In a way, we're playing sort of Hitler's war in that we're looking at this from like the Berlin headquarters or one of his other Führer bunkers around Germany. And the more units on the map, the more he was pleased by it. So he liked new units. Also, later in the war, there became a suspicion of long-serving units in that they were no longer well motivated for the fight. So the new units with few NCOs and officers with experience and lots of fresh-faced former Hitler youth types, yeah, they may have gone through the RAD and whatever else, but that doesn't mean that they went and saw a lot of combat, are all still believing in, late in the war, I'm talking about like 44 and later, that, oh yeah, we're winning this war. Everything's going great. Oh, sure, there's some setbacks, but we're winning this war, and they're all motivated up with their National Socialist zeal and coming in, where the other guys, yeah, we've been here since 39, and it's just another year, another war, but we got to stay alive and survive. They wanted these new, more motivated units, and so they were getting the personnel. So by mid-war, a lot of units stopped getting, or if not stopped, were getting fewer and fewer replacement soldiers and replacement equipment. So an older division might have, say, only half its tanks or half its anti-tank guns that it theoretically should have. But a Waffen-SS division was constantly getting replacement equipment, replacement men to keep those divisions up. And so they would appear elite in the sense that they were well equipped, and both in, like I was saying earlier, new equipment as well as fully equipped, and getting a lot of motivated men coming into them because they were ideologically pure and Hitler trusted them, and those kinds of reasons that they were. So that's where, and so, if you got a well-experienced Panzer division, but it only has half its tank complement, and it's also lost half of its trucks just from attrition and whether it's in combat or but just driving on all the bad roads, and you're losing all this stuff, and you're not getting replacement men, and you're told to go in and make an offensive, and then right next to you there's a Waffen-SS division told to also make the same offensive. Which division's going to do better and penetrate further? The one that's better equipped, that has more troops, more tanks, and everything else. And it was actually sort of a rare thing that the build-up for Operation Citadel, they were, for the divisions involved in that, getting a lot of replacement tanks, upgraded Panthers, and that, as opposed to just going to new units. So it, I'm talking generalities, not absolutes, because I'm sure you could point to me some division somewhere that's being reformed. Now, another time they did reform a lot of divisions was with the sort of the headquarters supply rear area elements, with the divisions lost in the Stalingrad pocket. But in many ways those were new divisions with old names. So that's often the situation there. So, okay, yes, we're not going to do these at the moment, though of course at some time with some of these other issues we might just take some of the rationing events. Okay. Send it Ordnungspolizei into the general government. Yes, we will do that. Okay. Prepare to flat corpse for Fallgelb. Okay, this doesn't have an event. Who's... Okay, yes. Don't know whose event this is that didn't have a picture. I can often tell by the image styles is who's making the events. Henschel and Shuns. Henschel, another rather good tank producer. Manpower, yes. Kessel, we want that. Metal supplies. Okay, I think this is a good time to end this episode here. Thanks for viewing again. Thanks for liking the videos and posting comments. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much.